I'm not gonna lie. This video is spectacular. The amount of research he did in this video is actually quite incredible. And the reason why I say that is because... Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex, your toxic dating coach. Sorry, I left my whip in Mexico. I know. I left the toxic. So we're gonna talk about why men can't open up emotionally. And what's the other thing in the video that it says? And until you do this, oh, okay. Woo, man, I was like, I thought there was no hope. Look, man, I'm not gonna lie. This video is actually really good. And I'm gonna explain to you why that is. And I just never seen a video where Mark, first of all, Mark is dieseled as fuck. He's a tank and a half right now. My God, have mercy. Let's look at this. I think he'll like it if we do this. Look at these arms. Look at those arms. They're popping out, man. What the fuck, man? Get a new shirt, Mark Rosenfeld. Jesus Christ. You're torturing that shirt. Sorry about that. Like, he's dieseled. This is what, look, I'll be honest with you, Matthew. I don't know if you're watching this. Not Matthew. I keep confusing for Matthew Hussey. When I thought I saw you in Amsterdam, and I swear to God, I was a little scared. I was like, yo, this guy might fuck me up. Like, I said a lot of shit. Like, I was a little scared that I was Mark Rosenfeld, because I was like, he could beat me up. He could beat up Father Alex, and we don't want that. So I was like, you know what? Let me make another turn, because he's looking a little intimidating to me. But anyways, man, let's find out what he has to say in this video. I'm gonna give you guys my take on it. We're gonna watch it. And by the way, this video was sent to me by our Patreon supporters right here. They told me I should review this video for $25 a month. They make video suggestions, and I automatically make those videos. I have other tiers in there. There's a $50 tier and you get a drawing from me. $20 tier, and you join the book club. There's a lot of good things in this. Okay, so let's begin this. And I'll give you guys my take. Oh, and don't forget, we're having a seminar in New York City next month. Check in the description down below for more information on how to sign up. And I'm going to your country, to your city. And if you're in a big city in the United States, I'm going to your city. Father Alex is showing up at your house, okay? So click on the description down below to see if I'm going to your city and purchase the tickets, or else I am close. I don't even need to say that.
Do men feel reluctant to show vulnerability with other men, especially heterosexual men? If they did that,
I don't call myself heterosexual. I call myself super straight. That's my gender, okay? Call me super straight. That's how I identify with. What super straight means is that we're so fucking straight. I'm just kidding, man.
They'd probably have better relationships with women. That was YouTuber's comment, and I think you're dead right, YouTuber. And that's why today I'm going to take you through a walk through a man's world to show you why men have such struggles with vulnerability and what you as a woman can do to help us share.
This is very interesting. Watch, people, watch. This is very interesting. I know I sometimes go at Mark Rosenfeld. Cause I'll be honest with you, I understand he's from Australia, and people there are very nice, but also a little passive aggressive. But in this video, he makes an extremely great point. Let's just see.
Hit the subscribe button with the little bell, and I'll see you for the answers right after this.
That's the part that it's like, Mark, what the fuck are you doing, Mark? Who are you calling? Are you calling a girl to have between you guys? Like, no, get away from me, Mark. Yo, Mark be collaborating, and his girl. Okay, Mark, I was wrong. I thought you guys in Everhart. I was wrong, Mark. Okay, my fault. Okay, you damn, they look happy as fuck. Jesus Christ, we're gonna have that kind of happiness, goddamn it. He's like, do you watch The Toxic Coach? No, I don't.
All right, before we get into today, don't forget my book has now been released. Make him yours, Beating the Odds of Modern Dating. All the secrets of beating modern dating so you can
go ahead and get it, people, I guess. You can't escape this.
Find the one for you.
It's a good book title, I'm not gonna lie. It looks really nice. You could tell he professionally made it. So good for you, Mark.
Check out the link in the description. 300 plus pages. It's very worth it. Today, we're talking vulnerability. And why do all men seemingly have such a struggle to be vulnerable, not just with each other, with other heterosexual men, but with you in relationship? Well, to explain this, we need to go back back in a man's world and look at where men come from. You see, men from a very young age. If we go
Listen, this is really good.
right back to the beginning of men, where they come from, just 8 weeks after they're conceived. So they're still in uterus, just 8 weeks already, we're seeing differences between men and women.
Oh, this is not very woke of you, Mark Rosenfeld. How dare you say that a man and a woman, there's such a thing, such a binary thing? That is not very woke. There are multiple genders and we cannot... I'm just being sarcastic because of the woke BS that's out there. I agree with him. I'm just being sarcastic, you know, because I'm trying to find something to disagree with. But I'll be honest with you, I watched this video and I'm not gonna, it's very hard to find anything that I disagree with. It's actually quite impressive.
Man's brain between 8 weeks after conception, right, it says between men and women. A man's brain between 8 weeks after conception, right through to 1 year of age, is already being flooded with testosterone. Now, testosterone, if you didn't know, is the hormone of dominance and aggression. It's the hormone of focus and goal orientation. And testosterone encourages competition more than it does cooperation. So when you're dealing...
And that's why, I mean, it's not to say that it's a negative thing or positive, but some of the most competitive people are men. I mean, that's what testosterone does. Now, women are very competitive amongst each other, right? But in general, most of the shit you see that's built was meant to get puss. Was meant to get some poom, you know? So it's just guys are just naturally more competitive than women. Women are more nurturing. Women are more empathetic than men are. It's like there are differences. There's nothing wrong with having differences. It doesn't make you any better or worse.
Dealing with a man, you're dealing with someone even who, before they were born, had this flood of testosterone marinating their brain, changing some of those circuits to support these behaviors. Now, it's not only testosterone. There's a second hormone called MIS. Look this hormone up if you're interested. I find it fascinating. It's called Müllerian inhibiting.
This is why I like it, because he finds it fascinating. You could tell Mark Rosenfeld likes this. Alex, have you changed your tone with Mark? It seems like it. I mean, I'm a petty person, but I call props when it's props, you know?
Substance. And what it does from 0 to 12 years of age, it defeminizes the brain and creates circuits for exploratory behavior, circuits for sexual interest and pursuit, basically circuits for play, aggression, exploration, in rough and tumble behaviors as well.
Listen to this, this is so good.
It's creating all these muscle circuits for that kind of activity. So you've got...
He's saying like muscle circuits for that kind of activity. That's so... I find that really fascinating. Like he's saying it's so fascinating.
But these two hormones acting in a man before he's even hit puberty. So these hormones up to 12 years of age are all having big effects on the minds of men. In fact, one of the effects that you might know if you're a mum is if you've ever wondered why male babies make a little less eye contact than female babies, they tend to follow moving objects more, that's the influence of MIS. And then as babies become born, that's less eye contact than female babies, is if you've ever wondered why male babies make a little less eye contact than female babies, they tend to follow moving objects more, that's the influence of MIS.
It's kind of interesting. Perhaps maybe it evolved because we were hunter-gatherers and the men were the ones that hunted and we had to observe moving objects. Now, mind you, understand this. Most men were not successful at hunting, and that's a fact. It was very rare for them to take out a mammoth. If they actually did that, they would never stop talking about it. And it'll go from I killed one mammoth in the afternoon to I killed a fucking T-Rex. Like back then, people just retold the stories of killing an animal. Truth of the matter is, the ones that actually provided most of the food were the women because they were actually gathering fruits. Those were more consistent sources of food. So women, I guess, that's my theory. We're not like natural selection didn't choose a woman to notice moving objects as much as men do because maybe they were just looking for gathering food, like fruits. And men, you know what I'm saying? It's very interesting.
And then as babies become boys, what we see is significantly more competitive behavior in boys than young girls. And not all of this is cultural. As I say, a big part of this is hormonal. Young boys will spend more than 2/3 of their time in games that are competitive in nature compared to young girls who spend 2/3 of their time in games that are cooperative in nature. So why is all this
Good. No, I'm kidding.
important? And how does this affect vulnerability? Well, all of these hormones are prepping boys
Be more mature, Alex. Let him speak. Okay, all right.
to young girls who spend 2/3 of their time in games that are cooperative in nature. So why is all this important? And how does this affect vulnerability? Well, all of these hormones are prepping boys for a very important period. And that period is, of course, their teenage years. Now, let's think about teenage years for a second. Take yourself into a teenage boy's world and think about that, right? Teenagers experience hierarchy. Girls experience hierarchy on a social level, as do boys. But boys create a social hierarchy in different ways than girls. A lot of boys' social hierarchy is built through physical dominance, physical aggression, competition, sports, mental abilities as well, and exploratory pursuing type behaviors.
And that's why men, when they bully you with physical strength. And women, when they bully you with words and gossip. It's two different forms of aggression.
Right, that is how a boy raises up this hierarchy versus falls down. And the hierarchy is very important. The hierarchy gets you respect, it gets you attention from the girls, and it builds you up. It basically sets up your life as a boy. So boys enter this hierarchy phase and they get this dump of testosterone. You know, young boys actually have a little less testosterone than young girls. But when they hit this puberty phase, they get a 20-fold increase in their testosterone. And what does that do? It lights up the centers for aggression, for dominant-based behavior, for even seeing faces as more aggressive than what they are, for competition, again, more exploratory behavior. All of these circuits.
It's very, this is so fascinating. Look at Mark right now. But it is quite fascinating, man. This is actually just crazy.
Light up so that a boy can do well in this hierarchy. Now imagine you're a boy in this hierarchy. What's the number one enemy of physical performance? The number one enemy of being dominant or strong or competing? The number one enemy is in fact emotional weakness. And you see, the muscles of the face are all connected
This is so interesting. This is so interesting.
to the emotional centers in our brain. And so what researchers have found is that for boys to stay in this hierarchy, we need to learn to numb the muscles of our face.
And that's why I actually teach that. Because like not showing what's in your face communicates strength, right? And this even happens when you like the person you're talking to, your face becomes very animated. And that's why sometimes when we like somebody, they take advantage of us because we're communicating weakness sometimes with the animated face that's charged with emotion. But when you don't like the person, your emotions are less intense. And they interpret that as you maybe not liking them. It's really, really fascinating.
To make them less reactive. Because in a world where hierarchy spots can change so frequently and where you've got to be so on, not just on yourself, but looking for weakness in others. Seeing weakness in the face, seeing fear, that's an opportunity to make fun of someone and go up the hierarchy yourself.
And that even happened to me where I remember I used to be bullied, but then there was a new kid who came in and I noticed people bullying him. I swear to God, there was something in me that when he fucked up, I felt the assertiveness to say, to bully him too. And it was because of what he was communicating. Like he was communicating weakness. He was somebody who was always trying to please people. And I still remember that. It makes me sad thinking about it now because he was bullied. But he was weaker than me when I was a kid. And it's kind of like, it even activated the predator in me also. And it was because he was just such a, he was always trying to please people, hey, laughing at people who weren't even smiling when he was talking. Like that kind of stuff, people interpret that as weakness. So what you gotta do, men and women actually, is learn to lower your nonverbals. And that's just doing that will communicate strength.
Or get teased and fall down, right? So pretty quickly, even without the cultural additions, we've got boys who are learning that if I show emotions on my face, I go down the hierarchy. And the Stoicism and men's love of hiding, being strong is born.
Yeah, it's almost like what they want to do is kind of like showing emotions equals weakness, right? Not showing emotion equals strength. That's pretty much their perception. And it becomes hardwired. And through generations of men, throughout millions, well, a few thousands, 100,000 years, this trait is wired in us. It's not deeply wired like other traits, like the desire for sex. But actually, no, fuck that shit. I'm not even gonna act like I think it's deeply wired in my opinion, but I don't know.
All of this begins is men are training themselves for 5 to 8 years in these environments. Every man that you've ever known has spent 5 to 8 years learning, having subtle cues that emotions could seriously dip me down the male hierarchy. Now you might think, well, can't he just share his emotions with like a guy friend, a boyfriend?
Shut up, Melissa. No, you can't.
At the time. And look, maybe if he was very lucky, he'd be able to do that behind closed doors. And that's where a lot of the most emotionally balanced men come from, is they do have that opportunity either with a friend and a parent to really...
So true, man. This is yo, Mark is hitting it out the park. Like seriously, this is a home run video. This is a home run video. This is actually spectacular. In fact, I think I even commented. What did I say? This video was amazing. Yeah, exactly.
Really have those emotions behind closed doors. But in most cases, weakness, showing it on the face as a teenage boy, that's going to make you enemies more than it's going to make you friends. Because everyone's looking for a chance to jump you in the social hierarchy, and weakness is that opportunity.
Yep. Because our DNA, understand, is always trying to dominate. It's always trying to put somebody down to put itself up. Your DNA doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. It just knows that it has to procreate. It knows that it has to dominate. And the best way to dominate is to remove the competition. And the best way to remove the competition is to lower their serotonin level, their will to fight, and put them down so that then they can submit to you. And the way you lower people's serotonin levels is by bullying them. Serotonin is the neurochemical that you feel whenever you feel respect or a lack of respect.
So you must remember that boys, the men that you know, have all been trained in this hierarchy. They've even done studies. This is fascinating. They've even done studies where they show emotional pictures. They show emotional pictures to men and women. And they actually notice that there is a bigger response in the man's brain if you only show the picture for 0.2 of a second, very quick, a fifth of a second, if you only show that picture. But men, even though they have a bigger reaction, that reaction dips almost immediately and you don't see it. Whereas women, with their use of mirror neurons, much higher. Bottom line, even though men react, they've learned over time to bring that reaction down. Now, from a biological perspective, if you think about this, it makes a lot of sense, right? Young boys are more exploratory. They're more likely to take risks. They're more likely to push boundaries. And this makes a lot of sense because you don't want young girls doing that, right? It's kind of screwed up to say, but young girls are more valuable for a tribal society.
100%. Yo, man, Mark Rosenfeld's looking at some evolutionary psychology. That's pretty much what he's doing. This is very fascinating. In fact, my boy, I'm going to use this in my course, Male Nature, that I'm coming up with. It's pretty much a course based on evolutionary psychology and my own anecdotal evidence and neurochemistry. I'm trying to go deep in this. I mean, it's not like I'm the smartest person, but I'm trying my best. But I'm definitely going to use this because it's a very good theory for explaining why guys don't open up. It's truly fascinating.
Because they can bear children. So if someone's going to kill themselves, pushing limits, you want it to be the men, right? And this is how society expanded. This is how tribal...
It's not because you're important as a woman. It's very simple. You're just able to bear children more than us. The level of importance you have and I have is based on your function. So if I'm the only guy amongst 20 women, I'm the important one. But if it's 10 women and 10 dudes, fuck the dude. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's kind of like it's all based on the function that you have in the tribe, your level of importance. Because at the end of the day, honestly, I don't believe that everybody has like an inherent worth. It's all based on how much people are willing to give for you. I really don't think so. It sounds negative, but it's not like I'm gonna sell you guys. But generally, at the end of the day, removing human psychology from it, we're worthless. Like, and it's not to be negative. You know what I'm saying? I should erase this part.
Society.
Cancel him! You heard what he said.
Expanded because more boys have these circuits for exploration and risk-taking. And it's why boys will typically push the limits of authority and society much harder as teenagers than girls. So what about then you as an adult? How do you help men with this problem? And how do you get guys to open up and be vulnerable with you after 5 to 8 years of training not to be? Well, the first thing you can do is if you have a boyfriend or a partner that opens up to you, make sure never to shame him for it. Hold space in that emotional display without judging, without expecting.
I do agree with this. I do agree, but I believe also that some guys just will never open up because that's just the way they're wired. But let's see what he has to say.
Without even speaking. Just hold space for him and support him in that, and make sure that you accept him for his emotions, that those emotions are okay for him to show you, those are loved, even the negative ones, and that those emotions and him sharing them actually make you respect him more as a man.
I don't know, that's where I disagree. I just think some guys, if they weren't able to open up as children, it's very difficult to get them to open up. Like, I really do think so. That's the only thing I disagree about in this video. Like, you can't, like, it's just some people are just not wired that way, you know what I'm saying? But I get what he's saying, and I kind of agree with it. But I think what he says applies to a very small population of guys who are trying to open up. Because most people, when they're closed, they just won't open up, you know, even though they need it.
Men have had a lot of training that emotions bring him down the masculine scale. So you've got to share with him how masculine you see him as when he does it with you. And second, I think it's important if you are a mum or if you know young men, because you might say, well, should we just encourage all young men to share their emotions all the time? And look, we have to be pragmatic here. Boys are built this way. Boys are built to establish their pecking order. No one has one before that age. So we're not going to get rid of this behavior entirely. But what you can do, I believe, is encourage boys to access their emotions when appropriate. So rather than telling teenage men, hey, never use your emotions, emotions make you weak, we tell them that, hey, there is a time to focus and put your emotions aside, to get the job done and be a man. But there's also times to come back to those emotions, to feel them, to embrace them. And the more you do that, the more you get the timing right between when to feel those emotions, go into them, and when you put them aside. That's what makes a real balanced man. Far too often, men see emotions as a blanket weakness. So we need to change that mindset, not by saying follow your emotions all the time, but by encouraging men to find the balance and knowing that having those parts of themselves and making time to access them at the right time is very important, not just for being a man and being successful, but for being strong around women.
Beautiful. I gotta say that was a spectacular video. I mean, that was great. I kind of disagree with the ending part, but let me not be so petty, you know, and give him props. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Good video, Mark. Anyways, ladies, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know it's usually negative, but fucking Mark forced me to make a positive video for once. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the seminars that I'm gonna be doing. Check if you're in a big city in America. Click on the description down below where it says seminar to see if I'm going to your city, or else I'm gonna have to close the channel. Be safe. Stay toxic. May the toxic force be with you. All right, ladies. So finally, I have released my second course for women, which is natural chemistry. This course is a 5-week course. 5-week course where every week you're gonna get a new set of videos based on specific issues. This course is all about how to create and maintain the attraction in any man. This will help you create love. This will help you deepen the love with your man. This is not about manipulation. This is not about playing games. This is genuine natural chemistry. No more short-term partners, no more being fooled. Why? Because I will reveal to you not only how to create attraction in the first week, but also how to understand male nature, how to understand their tricks, how to prevent from being too attached, signs that he's the wrong guy, signs that he's a narcissist, signs that he's a mama's boy, signs that he's an emotionally available guy, emotionally unavailable guy. We go over everything. We go over this 3rd week, setting boundaries. We go over the 3rd week, controlling your emotions, right? Setting boundaries, 4th week. 5th week, embracing your masculine and the feminine, right? And on top of that, I have over 10 different bonuses. 10 different bonuses, my Lord have mercy, right? With a money back guarantee. The bonus are 1, the natural chemistry, over 10 hours of content, right? The breakup formula, how to deal with a breakup, right? The connecting with your man, right? Establishing a life of abundance, social mastery, understanding your dark side, the goal setting seminar, which is about how to set and achieve goals, practical mastery that will teach you how to master anything, the laws of human nature. I have a book club for the laws of human nature with over 4 hours of content, right? the transformational seminar in a pocket, which is my mindfulness seminar, and the Chase audiobook. This originally is $1,800, but you get it starting at $97, ladies and gentlemen, right? $97. We have different packages, but all of this starts at $97. And you know what? You can check it out for free if you want. Yeah, for all the freeloaders, I have free videos just for you. Free videos, all right? So you could just check it out for free, and then you could get out. Nothing wrong with that, all right? So, and on top of that, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. That's right. No questions asked. I don't mind. I just want you guys to check it out, because I know when you take one look, you're going to want to buy it. I can promise you. Just like my other course, the psychological game of attraction, it was a hit. You're going to love this one. This one is not about manipulation. This is genuine natural chemistry. Order it now, all right? I'll see you guys inside. Peace out.